Today in Stormworks, we're going to try and do something that I failed to do in an entire series in one video. Today, we're going to try and build an aircraft carrier that is submersible and can travel underneath the water. Yes, we're going to try and do that in one video. How is it going to go? Who knows? Let's go ahead and get straight to building, and then we'll see what we can come up with. Alright, so there are multiple ways of going about doing this. We could build it like a round submarine and it looks a lot like a submarine, or we can build it like a hull that goes underneath the water and has a hangar mounted on the top. Kind of like what the Japanese did with the I-400s. So, let's go ahead and, build a boat hull and then put an aircraft carrier on it. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so starting out then, we're going to need to make this thing really big, so we're going to mount it all the way to pretty much the end. We'll leave a few blocks at the end, and we'll go ahead and do that all the way backwards as well. We're also going to leave it kind of there. There we go. How big is that actually? This is a pretty big thing. It is around 50 meters long, almost. We're going to add a few meters onto the end. There we go. Now it's pretty much 50 meters long. That's crazy. Anyway, what are we going to do from there? Well, I want it to look a little bit like a ship hull, so to begin with, we're going to go with about... I kind of want to go with like 5 of these. That looks a bit crazy, but yes. We're then going to go with about 5 of these. Yep, again, a bit crazy. And then I guess we might as well just do 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. From there, we're just going to go ahead and extend this guy backwards. And that is going to be the shape of this vessel. I don't know what the back end is supposed to look like, though. I think the back end should be a little bit more pointy. So what we'll do is we'll actually only do 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We're going to then do 6 of these. There's 6. And then we're going to do however many of these leads to us actually being at the end. There we go. I don't know how many that was, but there it is. Okay. Weird looking so far, but that's okay. This is, of course, going to be our deck, so let's get rid of all of these guys, all the way down to the end, and all of these guys at this end as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of those, and then just do this. Meow. All the way to the end, and this one from here, this way. Good. That's our deck, guys. Weird. Alright, what's everyone's thoughts on doing this on the underside? I actually really rate it. I think it's going to look pretty good. And it's going to make it a bit round on the top. Obviously, that bit is going to stay flat, but this bit underneath is going to be curved. And I think that is actually a pretty cool way of doing things. There we go. Check that on the back end. Nice. We're going to go ahead and zoom this straight across here like so. And then on this side, we're going to do the same thing. So it's going to come out first before it then goes in. Okay. Zoom it forwards to there. Okay. Very good. We're then going to attach this guy onto here. Zoom this forwards. And then we're going to do all of this. There's a lot to it, but it'll be fine. Let me go ahead and build a bit of a ship hull underneath this, and then I'll come back to you guys once that bit is sort of done. I think that is an excellent base for what we need. This is really good. So, what we need to do now is add a hanger thingamabobby to the top. We're gonna have to add some sort of like launch thing onto the front, and then I guess we need some sort of bridge sort of thing so that we can actually sail this thing around. We're then gonna need some sort of ballast tanks to lower it into the water. We're gonna need some sort of propulsion. I think I'm just gonna go with electric propulsion for now, and then, I don't know, we've got ourselves an underwater aircraft carrier thingamabobby. Now, clearly, I'm not putting that much detail into this because it's one video, but I want it to work. Alright, so, clearly, we are gonna need to add some details onto here. I think it'd be really nice, actually, to add, essentially, something along the lines of this down the sides. Yep, we're gonna add this guy onto there. On the other end, we're obviously gonna add this guy. Okay. And then we need to build ourselves the hangar thingamabobby in the middle. It needs to be able to hold at least one aircraft. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll just have one aircraft inside. Okay, so center of mass is around here. I want to be able to walk outside a little bit, so let's go ahead and do this. However, I want the hangar on the inside to be as big as I possibly can as well. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. We're going to bring this in. I think the way that I want this to work, actually, is I do want it to be rounded over. Even if it's just a little bit. So we'll go with like 3 of those. We'll do 1 of these. And we'll attach it all together like this. Okay. That's gonna be interesting. I think if we just copy and paste this a bunch of times, that'll give us a nice hangar shape. And then we can just keep building that on. So if I essentially paste this a bunch of times next to each other, that allows us to get the shape that we want. We'll merge these guys together, of course. And then we'll just copy and paste the bigger one, because that's easier. Alright, copy it, move it backwards, paste it in, and we're just going to do a bunch of these as we go backwards, and hopefully that'll be fine. Well, I mean, it looks like a hangar, to be fair, so I guess we'll keep it. We need an airtight door on the front, or realistically, we actually don't need an airtight door. We can leave it open, and I think that's what I'm going to do. You're not going to be able to get in the hangar when we are under the water. However, once we are above the water, there'll be no water inside of here anyway. We can jump in the plane. As long as the plane didn't turn on whilst under the water, we should be good to take off. Maybe. Clearly, that's not really how you want it in real life, but this isn't real life, so we're good. Okay, we need an aircraft for the inside. I don't really have one. Unless I do. I mean, it's a bit big. It is a bit big. This right here is, I believe, from one of my career modes. And yes, it's large. I think we could maybe slim it down a little bit. Possibly add some folding wings, and then maybe it will work. I don't know, it looks a bit crazy for right now. Okay, blade length can be shortened. There we go, that is smaller. We're gonna release the bed. We don't want a bed on there. There we go. This guy is gonna have to be made shorter as well. Where does this currently go to? It currently goes into the gyro on yaw. Alright, get rid of some of that. Get us a rudder, which is this piece right here. Chuck it on there. And there we go. It is, in fact, shorter. We're going to connect this guy straight into there. Give it some electricity, because we can. And, I mean, that, so far, does sort of work. Kind of. We're going to get rid of the landing gear. It's going to have none. As long as, as long as we can have a gripper on the bottom, this should be fine. Alright, so a gripper's going to go there. A gripper is going to go at the back. That is below this, so hopefully that'll work. I tell you what, actually, let's go ahead and delete those again, because I'm going to lower it down by 1. This could be a really stupid thing to do, but it might be worth doing. So chuck that on there, chuck it on there. It means that it's less likely to hit into these guys, and that should be alright. We're going to get rid of the rear landing gear as well, which means I am actually going to make the back of this plane look nicer as well, which is good, I think. Chuck that into there. Delete this guy and this guy, shove one of these guys on. And that's awesome, I think. So if we spawn it in, what does that look like? Yeah. I think as long as this thing still flies, we're good. We're in a good situation anyway. So I can't remember how you make this thing work. How do I use this? I actually can't remember. Start the engine, please. All right, we need to... Oh, it's just electric. Okay. Yeah, all right. It works. It still flies, so that's good. Okay, cut the wing. Here we go. So the wing has to go on here like this. It then has to get folded into the right position, and that will work, I guess. I always struggle with pivots in this game, but hopefully we can figure it out. Okay, I've actually got it to pivot like this, which is almost the correct position if you look right there. And honestly, that's fine. So if we move this further forwards one, this will fold into the correct position, I think. I've moved it, let's see what happens. So that goes there, it folds it correctly, and then this goes here, and voila! There we go, we got our wing that rotates into the right position. The thing is, generally, this isn't a very good thing for your aircraft, but it might still work. It's time to see if that works. If we press 6 now, both wings should fold out. Oh yeah, we're ready. Oh, we are so ready. Okay, let's get rid of some of the dumb stuff. These seats on the back don't need to be there. That seat right there doesn't need to be there. All of this doesn't need to be here. And now we should be able to place this inside of there. All right, here we go. So it comes down by 2. We then send it backwards. Oh, okay, we're gonna have to make it bigger. That's okay though. So let's go ahead and get rid of the roof, actually. So most of this bit needs to go. Only where the aircraft is gonna go though, to be fair. We'll get rid of most of this, get rid of most of that. I think if we, instead of these guys, we actually raise it up like so, and then do it again and again and again, we should get a nice thing going. We should get a nice thing going. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, let's go ahead and send it up one further than that. There we go. Attach these guys onto here. 1 and 2. Send this across the top. Does it fit now? Oh, so close. All right, we actually have to send it backwards a little bit further than this. All right, we can do that. Let's just send it backwards to here. Delete these guys. Delete all of these. There we go. Slowly but surely, we're doing it. Okay, so delete all of that. Delete these guys. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Grab this. Shove it on there. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Go from there to there. And box all this off as well. Oh yeah. Okay, very nice. So now we can actually paste this inside. And that'll work. Okay, I wasn't expecting to actually get to this point, I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting to be upset with it, cry, and then leave, you know? Alright, well, the idea was we sort of leave this sort of open, but obviously we can't really do that. So it needs a door on the front, kind of. So what kind of door can we even have? Let's go ahead and figure that out. So, if we delete these two right here and these two right here, we can get ourselves a pivot. Yes, we can. Chuck that into here. 1 and... Actually, let's send it the other way. 1 and 2. Attach this guy down to there. Oh, you know what, actually? We can do it on the outside. That is probably a better idea anyway. And then all we gotta do is grab one of these and send it outwards. There we go, until we're at pretty much the top. Chuck one of those guys on there. Delete these ones right here. And then, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty much 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, connect it from here up to there. Alright, and those are our doors. However, we're going to do interlocking doors. So let's go ahead and shove these guys onto this one like so. And then the opposite on this side. And these guys should hopefully interlock into each other with a button. Yeah. Alright, let's chuck a button on this one. We'll do it double-sided actually. So double-sided toggle button. Shove that on there. We need a switch box really quickly. So shove that onto here, I guess. Connect this guy to here and here, as well as there and there. Okay, connect this guy to there. And I can't remember which way around this needs to be. I believe our off should be -1. Our on should be 0. Here we go. Let's see if that works. It's closed. Oh, yes! Alright, open it up. Boom! Brilliant. So, underneath our aircraft, we need to sort something out. I was going to have it be ramped up, but actually, without it ramping up, we should be fine. Track. Here it is. This is what we need. So the track is going to go all the way through. Obviously, we're going to delete even further back, actually, to there. Shove that in there. Shove it all the way backwards to here. Whack this on. We need a not signal in the actual aircraft itself. So let's put one of those wherever. There we go. Connect this to brake. There we go. Brake and brake. We're going to connect not to spacebar. And we need to make sure that we remember this. So release. Plane, I guess. All right, there we go. So that's for the brakes. We're going to fly straight off the edge. That is what's actually going to release us, but that should be fine. Okay, at this point, we should test if that thing can take off. So, open the door. It should be stuck to the ground. Very nice. We go ahead and press space bar and throttle up a little bit. Okay, once we're outside, we press space bar again. We then press 6, which unfolds our wings. We then press space bar again and throttle up and pitch into the air. Oh, our wings are a bit floppy, aren't they? It could work. It could work. Alright, well anyway, I want to box off this area kind of like this. So let's just do a bunch of these guys at the back. There we go. Slowly but surely, that gets all the way to the end. We're then obviously just going to work on fixing all of these pieces in, which I believe makes sense. There we go. We're going to continue to do it until we've done all of them. Yes! So that goes in there, that goes in there, and realistically this goes on here, but I feel like that's a bit weird. It is a bit weird. I'm not too worried about what it looks like on the inside, so that's sort of fine. But let's go ahead and do this across here, this across here, that across there, and fill in the rest of it. There we go. And fill in all of this too. Okay, so that's going to be the back end, somewhat sorted. Not going to worry about what it looks like too much. We just need to make this thing work. I think it might be time for windows. Yes, we're going to go ahead and just chuck some windows on here, and then we're going to hope for the best. Yeah, we're getting there. So, those guys go on there. We chuck one of these guys in the center, and then I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much fill in the top end. So, we're going to do this all the way back to there. We're going to attach this guy onto here, and we're going to do this. And there we go. So that's where we're going to control this thing from. And it does look a bit bizarre, I know. But if we go in here, as long as this section that we're stood inside of right now is sealed, we should be good. Also, I can't actually see outside, so we need to either lower the window down a tiny bit or raise this bit up a tiny bit. So I'm just going to raise this up by 1. We're going to chuck a bit of an extended floor in here. That's fine. We'll just do these guys. And then if we spawn it in, we can jump in there and have a little look at it. Here we go. Boop. Okay, so now we can see outside the windows. Very nice. Okay, let's get some electric motors in here. Let's get some doors so that we can open the inside to some water. And then we should be able to sink the thing, I guess. Alright, we're gonna go with one large motor. There it is right there. We're then gonna get a gearbox and we're gonna chuck that into here. Just like this. We're gonna go with like 3 gearboxes. We'll go with 3 to 1 on each of these. 3 to 1, 3 to 1, and 3 to 1. We're then gonna send a pipe straight through into the ocean. Yes. Alright, straight out of here into the ocean. Okay, yeah, that works. Go ahead and chuck that guy on there. Paint this side, just like so. Grab some of these in the right color. That would be a good plan. That would be a great plan. There we go. Chuck this out here. Get ourselves some propellers and get this thing going. All right. I think I might actually just send it out to the side for... so we have 2 propellers. Why not? There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, go ahead and whack one of these on. And then propeller. We're gonna go with some giant ones. Or large ones. Large ones works. Alright, there we go. Remember, it's not really about what it looks like. It's just about it working. Alright, so, we don't want to mirror this, but we're gonna go ahead and shove one there. And we're gonna shove one... in line with that, so there we go. And that's going to be our turning system. We're just going to go with 3 of these guys going down, and hopefully that's okay. Alright, very nice. From here, we're just going to go ahead and zoom this up on both sides. Here we go. Zoomy, zoomy. Connect it on. There we go. And I guess we will connect that straight up to here. So WNS is going to control... actually our diving, so none of this. A and D is going to control this. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then need to get ourselves some controls. So control surfaces, we're going to go with large fins, and I'm actually just going to attach them onto here. I can't remember which way up they need to go. We're going to go with like 4 of them back there. We're going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4 of them at the front. Connect those guys directly under WNS, and that will be our dive planes. Again, we're not going for looks here. We're going for an aircraft carrier that can be submerged and come out the other side just fine. So there we go. That's all working. Or gonna work. Up and down goes on there. I'm gonna add a lot of weight right now so that this thing is weighed down a good bit. And we'll go from there. Alright, so... we need more weight towards the front than we do towards the back. So we'll leave the back weightless, sort of. Connect that all the way down to there. Spawn it in. How high in the water is it? Let's have a little look. Oh, that's not too shabby, to be honest. Yeah, now we just need a way for water to get in and out of this thing. And that'll be good. Alright, let's do it. So, we need some hatches to begin with. They are going to be electrical hatches. In fact, let's go with doors. We'll go with some electric sliding doors. Yes. Alright, chuck those on the bottom. I don't know how many to do, but we'll go with quite a few, I would imagine. So let's do it. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and there's 6. That will do me just fine. I'm going to add a little bit more weight towards the front, so let's just do this. And there we go. That will be what helps us dive. We're then going to have to obviously add in some pumps that help us come back up. But then we're done. Then we can actually test this thing out for real. Okay, there it is. On both sides, we have 10 of the pumps. Hopefully 10 pumps is going to be enough. But I highly doubt it. You know what? It will work. It will. So we check all those guys on there. I can't remember where I've put these. So we need to go to there. And we need 10. So, fluid pots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Aha! There we go. We got to all of them. And essentially, we just connect all of those to a button, which is going to be 1. And that will be what we use to empty the tank of any fluid that is inside. Realistically, we should probably add... valves on it, or like flow or whatever on this, but that's fine. Okay. Okay, so actually yes, let's go ahead and just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. We're gonna go to gas thingamabobbies, gas relief valves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's actually more than 7 obviously, but that's fine. And we're just gonna go ahead and do this. Air can flow freely through there. I'm struggling with English, but that's fine. Alright, let's go ahead and make sure we know what this is. Flood. There we go. And de-flood. There we go. Alright, let's see if she works, shall we? Let's make it daytime so we can actually see what's going on. And let's see what happens. Alright, so we do need a way to get in and out of here. That would make a lot of sense. In fact, we already do. We go down here. We push this button. We can get outside. If we want to go inside, we push this button. We go upstairs. There we go. We close this. And we get sailing. Okay. Alright, we're moving. She's a mover. Are the doors going to open when I press space? Yes, they are. Which means this should start flooding with water. Excellent. And then if I want to dive, I essentially point the fins down. And we should be able to start diving underneath the water. All on our own, kind of. Alright, I mean, kind of. We are going to need more water in before anything else happens. But that's okay, we're doing it. Well, from the bridge, it actually looks like it's working. But from outside of the bridge, not so much. Obviously, I didn't seal up this area, so water is flowing through my aircraft. But the hull is under the water. It is. Yeah. Okay, I mean, that's fine so far. We're going to allow more water in. And obviously, more water is going to come in the more we go underneath. It's just struggling a little bit. I think I might add more weight to begin with. And there we go. So it's more under the water now. That is good. Let's go ahead and get inside and get sailing again. I do think I could probably just add a load of random details onto this as well. It would make it look a lot nicer, because currently the front end looks ugly. I might add some sort of door on there. Not that it's a proper door, but that's not the point. Anyway, open up these doors. Water should start flowing in, which I believe it is. And we should be able to dive our way directly into the water and have a good time. Yes. Oh, it is actually properly working this time. We're going under the water properly. Amazing. Oh, wait, it's actually going under. Here we go. Oh, yes. All right, bridge is under the water. Therefore, we have built ourselves a submersible aircraft carrier. Look at it. We are sailing, technically, under the water just fine. Okay, so now you might be thinking, well, the plane's flooded. Is it gonna work? And the answer is, I think so. I don't know. Yeah, no, it definitely will work. So, if we wanted to sail somewhere, we totally could. And then if we wanted to, let's say, release our aircraft, we could close the doors on the front. Yep. We could press 1, which should start releasing water out of there. And then if we go up to the surface, yep, there we go. We can sail along the surface, just like so. I could even try and point the nose up if I wanted to. There we go. So the rear of the aircraft carrier is in the water. And then if I go down here, oh yeah, close that up. Let's go ahead and open up the front door. Jump inside the beast. All right, and what I could actually do is release the brakes, take off, and then press 6 to do the, yeah, to do the wings. Oh, yeah, we did it. We actually sort of did it. That is beautiful. The wings very much suffer under stress. I'm not gonna lie. But it was all about trying to see if we could build an underwater aircraft carrier thingamabobby. And we totally have. So I'm happy. Oh, we've done it. Whoops. Alright, I made a mistake. So, you might be questioning things. You might be like, well, how are you going to get the aircraft back onto the submarine? That's not my problem. What we could do is obviously add a crane onto this thing, but that is if I added more details. I just wanted to see if I could build something that sort of worked for this, and yes, it is definitely possible. So, I guess if you guys want to see me try and do a detailed version of this, where it looks nice, we are able to go through the submarine, maybe it's powered by like a diesel electric generator thingamabobby, and maybe it looks better, let me know, because I think I am actually down to try and do something like this again. But yeah, for now, thank you guys very much for watching, whatever the heck this was, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Mission success.